Greetings, everyone.
Greetings.
Okay, so I'm Osalami. I'm a holistic nurse, doula, and holistic health care practitioner. Last week, I was out of town and I was speaking on immunizations during pregnancy. This year has been an amazing year because through the organization that Prestata has, I have done lectures on stress, on depression,
cancer.
It's been an amazing year because this forum is open and it allows me to just go in and just all the things that I've learned for the past 15 years as a practitioner to share it with the community. So when I was thinking about this particular lecture or presentation, I was trying to decide what I should talk about, because last week when I talked about immunizations, a lot of people, they just assumed they knew what I was going to talk about. So some of them didn't come, and then when I spoke to them afterwards, they were like, well, I really should have gone to the immunization presentation. We have a lot of topics right now that are very controversial, but I don't think we need to be afraid of controversy. We need to be moving forward. We need to be bold. We need to be uncompromising. I think right now we get into a mode where we don't even want to hear anything negative. So we need to get into a space where we're open to receive this information. I want to say what motivated me to do this is in 2013, I saw a woman and she was sitting at a bus stop and she had a cell phone just laying on her breast. And I thought to myself, okay, what should I do? Should I go and tell this lady to remove the cell phone off her breast? How will she feel? What will her reaction be? So I just said, I'm just gonna go over there. And I said to her, could you please remove the cell phone off your breast? And she just immediately took it off. She didn't ask any questions. We didn't get into any kind of conversation. But I think intuitively she knew that my purpose was about her health. And so I don't think a lot of people are hearing anything in the media right now about cell phones except for the latest cell phone. The new one that if you wear the band, you can see it shining off your wrist. We have so much technology now. Is there anybody in the room who doesn't have a cell phone?
I do.
He doesn't have a cell phone. Okay. All right. I should have a prize for somebody, but I have a cell phone. When I told my husband I was going to talk about this, he was like, how could you talk about this? You have a cell phone. I will say that every time I speak about something, it just reinforces what I already know, and it helps me to go in deeper. So me talking about cell phones doesn't mean that I don't carry a cell phone and I don't use a cell phone, because mostly everybody has a cell phone. I want to say about maybe 8 years ago, I had two friends that still didn't have a cell phone. And everybody would say, you don't have a cell phone yet? And it's because everybody wants access to you, immediate access. Nobody wants to wait for you to get home and pick up your landline. I want to talk to you right now. I want something right now. I could be right here and people have been calling me on my phone, but it's not a part of my body. It's not an extension of me, okay? So I think we have to learn to, I don't want to say let go of the phone, but we can't marry the phone. The phone is not part of our family. We need to get used to the fact that sometimes we have to disconnect, okay? So I'm going to talk a little bit about what the cell phone does as far as how it works, how it interacts with our body and our body tissues, so that we can get a little bit of the science, because we don't hear this on a regular basis. Some of the links that I have on my presentation talk about every country except the United States that have taken a stand because they are looking at their children's future, trying to protect the children of their country. So America, I would say at this point, is not in that space. They want to sell more phones, they want to build more towers. It's not about that. So anytime I ask people, do you think cell phones, can make you sick? People look at me and say, well, everybody has a cell phone. Why would they create something that would make me sick? We can go down the list with DDT, and there's so many things that are not made for our highest good. So we have to be clear about that. So if you're already saying, this girl, what's she talking about? Everybody has a phone. I know this. I'm not naive to this. But You ever, and I say this because I brought research, because people like to see research, they like to see statistics. But intuitively, when you're using your phone and you're on a long conversation and it gets hot, isn't your instinct just to drop the phone, or do you just want to hug it some more so it can, I mean, nobody's phone ever got hot here?
Yes.
Phone?
Yeah.
What kind of
Put the
phone you
phone
got,
away.
Taz? 'Cause
Yeah.
my phone gets hot.
Yes.
So I want us to really be, because what Barbara Pearson talked about and what Dr. Love talked about with holistic health and our health, we have to become more intuitive, because we are a feeling people. We feel things. And if we have to always listen to academia, to research, to books, we'll be the last ones to know what's going on, because we're not feeling anymore. So we need to get back in touch with ourselves, our indigenous ways, and just our nature.
I see.
So I'm gonna have to walk over to the slideshow. Okay, so I said who I am and what I do. I'm also a doula, and I do have a blog, but I do talk about different health topics, toxic chemicals, stress, depression, immunizations, and just about everything under the sun. So I asked about how many people have a cell phone. How many people have a smartphone? You know, the one that can do everything. Google, you have all these apps on your phone. Okay. How many people have been using a cell phone for over 10 years? One person? Just one person.
Couple of
I know
us.
I've been using
Couple
it
of
over
us.
10 years, okay?
Yeah.
I got my first cell phone in, I think it was 1993. My brother and I were sharing the cell phone. We just knew we had arrived. So according to the Pew Research Center, 90% of American adults own a cell phone. 90% is a lot. 60, and so who do you think the 10% is that doesn't have a phone?
Children.
Some children, because a lot of children now, from the age of 7, 8 years old, they have cell phones.
Elders.
Elders. Some of the elders are still, my grandmother, she's 94 years old, and they will not get her a cell phone.
My grandma just
She wants one, but she doesn't have a cell phone. So we have our elders and we have our very young children. 64% of American adults own a smartphone, 32% of American adults own an e-reader, and 42% of American adults own a tablet computer. Now, I think this last one, 29% of cell owners describe their cell phone as something they can't imagine living without. That's real deep, okay? Because I remember when I was growing up, we didn't have cell phones, and we all survived. You know, I remember even now when I say, why does that little child need a phone? And the parents would get upset and say, well, how's she going to call us if something happens? Well, what happened when I was growing up? Did I?
No.
So I think we're in a very fear-driven society, and we feel like the cell phone is our safety net. Now, I'm not saying that if you get stuck on 95 and you need a cell phone and it came through for you and you were able to call AAA, that's not a good thing. But I am saying that we are in a time of excess. We do everything in excess. So we need to take a step back. I mean, if you're a business owner, yes, you need a cell phone. Everybody has one so that they can contact you. But the excessive use of cell phone is what we're really talking about. This next slide just goes through, and it's kind of hard to see out here, but it talks about the percentages of cell phone owners. Now this information, I always question, I use these statistics because people want to see them, but I always question them. Because I don't remember any survey asking me if I had a cell phone or anything like that, so I don't know where they get this data from. It talks about men, 93% of men and 88% of